Hello, hi, this is me, Samantha, the Legal Beagle, and I want to thank you guys for joining me on this quick session we're going to have. I want to thank all of those who've supported me. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. If you haven't subscribed, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. Okay, I am going to give you an update on the things that's going on as far as my case is concerned, and then I'm going to turn it over to the topic that I really want to address. And first of all, I want to show you that real quick. This is my Supreme Court thing. It was something that I was missing out of it, and oh my goodness, and I called the Supreme Court. So this lets you know that I am in the Supreme Court. I'm gonna just show you this right here. I am in the Supreme Court, and what happened was it was something that I forgot to do. Well, I didn't forget. I just didn't put it down. And I spoke with my Supreme Court case manager, and he told me how my brief looked well prepared and everything, and that it was just a little bitty thing that I had looked over. So they have to make sure everything is all right. So he sent it back, and he told me I have 60 days to do it. But I don't. Anybody that been on my channel know I don't wait 60 days. So I got on it as soon as possible, and so that it could be out. One thing about the Supreme Court is that when you submit everything that you submit to the Supreme Court, you got to submit to the other party. So I'm gonna have to submit that to the other party. So my financial stuff to the other party. I am confident about that. The Supreme Court ended back here. I think he said April or May, and all the decisions that you're hearing now were from April and May, and then they post them on June. So that's how it be. Session starts back in September, so I'm getting everything done so that I can be ready in September. Okay. As far as my Equifax and other cases, right now they're still out there. So I am working on it. So, but I want you guys to know that this case right here affects every credit acceptance subprime lender that that people get. So it's gonna ask a question about, can a auto lender be immune from being persecuted. This is a major case. And we're gonna get on that topic about the brief and how I did it and everything. Okay, so that's where we're going with that. Okay, now we're gonna have a brief discussion about pleadings and brief and drafting. Okay, I don't know if you guys have ever told you, but when I first started doing this, I would ramble. I would ramble. I talked about every little detail that went on and everything, and in my case. And back then, when I did that, I'm not gonna lie. Judges back then, back in the day, pro se litigants didn't have more Supreme Court backing and appellate backing as they do now as they did back then. Back then, judges just said anything, did anything, and threw your case out of court. So now these judges are finding loopholes, but but they still talk about rambling and not having a well pleaded case. And one thing I like to do is when I've been doing this for a long time, and I'm not gonna lie, when it's me, it's more personal. I have to back off of it, because sometimes even when I am dealing with my own case, I get emotional, I get stressed out, I have anxieties, because after all, I'm dealing with something that has a direct effect with me. Now, any one of you guys know, you're dealing with your situation and everything. You're gonna feel it. You're gonna know. You will know. You will know. Can't nobody describe that stressful feeling but you. So How do you do that? How do you channel what you're trying to say, and at the same time be productive in what you're saying? Well, first of all, I know I'm not an attorney. That's my biggest thing. I know I'm not an attorney. So I don't try to make up big words and do say big things and talk about things because I'm an attorney. I'm not. I am not an attorney. I'm not. I don't even pretend to be an attorney. So that makes a good impact. A lot of pro se litigants like to use big words, and when they doing their complaint, they like to use things that's in it. No, it's not even like that. Basically, how you talk to the court, and how humble you are to the court affects your case. One thing about it is that don't do your pleading to the point where you want to tell the judge that you know what you know. You can say that without being aggressive. Because one thing I do say, and I am humble, is that when like I'm a diabetic, and people say, well, Samantha, when I see you on YouTube, you don't look unhealthy. Yeah, the stress does affect me, and it affects me to the point where sometimes, recently I had a court hearing, and my sugar was 500 that the day before, and I went to my doctor, and my doctor had told me, don't do nothing, and I ended up going to the doctor again early that morning. I stayed there all day. I didn't have my phone, the information where I could reach the court and stuff. And yeah, I got a little backlash for that, but they was thinking about admitting me. They was shooting me up with insulin, and she told me I was stressed out, and I guess I just got stressed out because I was getting ready to go to this hearing, over the phone. So it does affect it. I'm not gonna say it doesn't. It does affect you. So anyway, when we back to that, when you're trying to talk and stuff, you don't have to talk to a judge like an attorney, because attorney goes to school. They have a degree. You pro se, you're learning and stuff, and so that plays a big difference. And so when we're talking about pleadings, one thing I am going to say is this right here. I've been doing this for a long time. I've been doing it either for me or somebody else. I've been doing it for a long time. And one thing about it is that, especially when I'm doing it for myself, and I'm doing it for myself, I'm personal. I ask people to, look over my paperwork. I make sure I do that. I do that because why? Because I can get personal in it. And when you get personal in it, a person that proofreads your work, they can tell you, look here, I think you went left field here, or I think you on here. That's the most important thing. And sometimes I get off track. Samantha, you saying too much of this, or you using this as yourself. Back off a little bit. Use this, do that. And the people that I go to proofread, they're more harder on me than me myself. They're very hard on me. And that's easy because when you're typing up something or you're printing up something, it's more important to be the third party. It's okay to be the third party. But like, for instance, I'm going to give you a good example. Like, for instance, you don't have to say things like the honorable court. I may start my thing off to the honorable district judge of so-and-so, so-and-so, so-and-so. That's about all I'm going to do is give that much honor. I'm not going to give the court honor, or when I say myself plaintiff, I tell my name. And if I'm going to use I use my last name. I put in parentheses in the beginning how that I'm using my last name. That means that when they hear that last name, they know I'm talking about me. That's how it works. That's how it works. And then I go on, and then I talk about the case, and then I make sure I don't say, well, what happened in the court clerk, that's error. Unless and I'm not an attorney when I say this, so I should give that disclaimer. But anyway, unless It was an error that was with the clerk that was so far out that the outcome of the case. I don't, it doesn't matter. Little things that happen in the case, it should not affect how you do it. But I have people that, I've had it before. I've had people that say, Samantha, would you look at my work? Okay. And there's no identification. They're calling themselves complainant or claimant or plaintiff. And that's all they're talking about. Plaintiff this, make sure, but that you want to make it where you're human. That, this actually happens to a human person, and that it affected a human person, even though you're pro se. Even though you're pro se, you want them to know that, the person that's drafting it was actually a person. Actually a person. So when you're typing up stuff, it's okay to ask somebody to look at your paperwork. Don't be so harsh. One thing I have found out in recent and past is that when people ask me to look over their stuff, or they call me, they ask me a question, they ask me a question. But see, being a person that I am, I have to hear, like somebody asked me one time, well, can I do this? Can I do this? Well, sure, you can do anything in the court. You can do anything. But the question is that what are the situation that's surrounded that allows you to be able to use it? It may not be that. It may not be that. Sometimes, you have to really, listen, because when you're talking to an attorney, you can call an attorney and say, you know what, I want to sue. Okay. He said, okay, come on, let me go on and sue. He gonna want to know the case. That way he can decide what to do. He can decide, okay, this is how I need to do it. Or now I don't want to take the case. It's how you present it. That's why I tell everybody, and I got a new book, here it goes. I tell everybody, when you're doing legal documents, when you are, write your stuff down. Right? If you never did anything, write your stuff down. I got this from Dollar Tree. What number $1? A nice little book. But write your stuff down, because you're getting your thoughts together. Write down cases. Write down this. Put tabs in books. It's good to know the legal sense, but applying it to the court of law is a whole new different thing. It's a whole new ball game. Another thing that I want to add is this right here. Don't be defensive when somebody give you criticism. Please don't. Don't be defensive. The best part that I like about me is that, let me make sure I get that off. One thing I like about me is that I do not, when somebody is hard on me about my work, I don't get defensive, because that's a growing thing. When somebody tell you that you're doing it wrong, or it doesn't sound right, or it doesn't make no sense, don't take it as, well, I'm trying to do this. They're trying to help you too. But the thing about it is that I am a personal person, and I tell you, if you don't want to hear the truth, don't call me. If you don't want to hear what I would think about it, don't call me. Don't ask me. Because I try to give you not just one scenario. I try to give you every scenario there is. I try to tell you what I would do, how I would have done it, and compare it to yours. Mine could be different. It could be a total different thing. But one thing about it is that the outcome, you want the outcome to win. A lot of people don't want to hear that, that their paperwork is not up to par, or their paperwork is lacking something, or especially, that they've been doing it for so long that, they get standoffish. I've had a few pro se people like that. And when I get pro se people that want to argue with me about how, we can't communicate without we can't communicate without having an argument, then it's time for me to back off. It's time for me to go, because I'm not here. Back in the day, I would have argued with somebody about how they need to do their stuff, how they need to do it, how no, don't do it that way. Because of my experience. And I found out that, I'm not, that's not my case. If you want to go ahead and make it where the judge start turning on you, that's you. That is all you. It has nothing to do with me. I don't have a dog in the fight. So when I start telling somebody, look, hey, being pro se, you don't want to make that judge mad. Hey, maybe you need to go check this out. Everything that I tell people is for you to research. It's for you to research. It's not for you to just say, okay, well, take our word and go do it. I tell everybody, read, proofread. Even when I'm doing something, proofread behind me. I could have missed something. I don't want to stray away. I don't want to lose focus. And it's easy. It can happen. Especially when you're doing your own paperwork. It can happen. You just start going left field. You start thinking of it, reliving it. Oh my goodness. You get upset and cry. I used to do it at first. I used to do that. Oh my goodness, I'm typing up this lawsuit and oh my goodness, I'm reliving it. And as I type it up, I'm reading what I'm typing and I start crying. And then it just really get ugh. But then I'm a little bit more controlled when I get nervous when I have to have court hearings. But anyway, I get, but when I'm typing it, I'm okay. But when I'm have to go before a judge, even if I'm on the phone, I get nervous. I do. I guess I got more nervous now than ever. But like I said, it's just, proofread, have people to look over. I have people that's not even in the legal field. That's not even in the legal field. Ping, don't do that. Anyway, that's ping. I have people that's not in the legal field, and I ask them, hey, would you look over my paperwork? Because you want it where even somebody who's not even in law can look at it and say, okay, you know what? I get what she's trying to say. I get what he's trying to say. So, don't, like I said, always get your little book, I have the legal starter kit, and I do it sometimes for people. I tell them how to do it, not how to do it, but I give them little breadcrumbs so that they will know what to do. And then if they don't hire me or if they don't hire nobody, they start doing it themselves. They have a more of a structured way that they can do their work and it still be productive. Like again, I said, I've been doing this, and even now, I have to be open to learn, because a lot of times, law is an ever learning thing. Cases is an ever loving thing. You can't. Cases change. Roe versus Wade had changed so many times it's not even funny. It's a lot of cases that have it's concrete, and then it's a lot of cases that has just went on. They have changed it. Different Supreme Courts has changed it. So you have to be flexible. And one thing about it is that and this is me, I am never too old, too smart to learn. I'm never that. I do not know everything. I can tell you that right now. I do not know everything. It's some things, I promise you, that, if I don't sit and read it, what may be good today may be bad tomorrow. But when you get that confident that you know everything, can't nobody tell you nothing about your paperwork, can't nobody tell you about your case, can't nobody give you no criticism about things that goes on, can't nobody tell you how to structure it, how to do that. When people can't tell you nothing about your case, I can tell you that is a recipe for failure. That is a major recipe for failure. So if you're going to do your case and you're going to do it right, be open-minded. Be open-minded. If somebody is trying to help you with your case, don't play games with them. Don't play games. Don't sit here and act like, don't take them for granted. Don't play games with them. I don't like it when people play games with me, but it happens. But the best part about it is that if you're going to be pro se, be open-minded. Ask people to look over your work. Ask people to judge your work. Because I promise you, the harder that they are on you, the better your work will become. The better you be able to plead your case. And until the point, I had a judge in a bankruptcy court tell me that my pleadings was very articulate. That he had never met a pro se person like me. And that made me feel good. Because you know why? Because I had somebody in the background, not Ping, but somebody in the background that was hard on me to make sure that I had my case on point. Again, I want to thank you. Give me your comments on this section. I want to thank you guys for supporting me. Thank you for my channel. I'm getting my podcast ready, so I have to put the link down. I'm not really good at that, but we have after hours, and we talk about different things that's not related to this. So we talk about hard topics. So anyway, I want to thank you guys and have a happy 4th of July. And give me your comments and thoughts. And if you have any questions, my email is down at the bottom. Okay? Thank you so much.